In 1959, a group of French film critics, people who had never directed a feature, picked up cameras and broke almost every rule of filmmaking. No permits, no studio lighting, no smooth cuts, actors talking straight into the lens. Within 5 years, they had changed cinema permanently. This is how the French New Wave happened, and why it still shapes the movies you watch today. The movement didn't start on a film set. It started at a magazine, Cahiers du Cinéma, where critics like Francis Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, and Eric Romer spent the 1950s tearing apart what they called the tradition of quality. Francis polished studio-bound literary adaptations. Truffaut's 1954 essay, A Certain Tendency of French Cinema, argued these films were safe, impersonal, and dead on arrival. His alternative was the auteur theory, the idea that a dictator should be the true author of a film, with a visible personal style, the way a novelist has a voice. By the late 1950s, cheaper 16mm cameras, faster film stock, and portable sync sound equipment made it possible to actually test that theory without a studio's money or permission.
हमको पहचानती हो? गूंगी हो? अभी तक ब्याह नहीं हुआ। ला, तुम्हारा बोझ उठा लें। इधर देखो। अरे एक बार देख भी लो। कांप कहाँ रही हो?
Three things defined the new wave style. First, location shooting. Films like The 400 Blows were shot on real Paris streets with natural light, often with a handheld camera and a small crew, sometimes without permission at all. Second, broken continuity. Godard's Breathless is the clearest example. Instead of smoothing over cuts with a scene, he removed frames mid shot, creating jarring jumps in time. Audiences had never seen anything like it. It felt less like watching a story and more like catching one in motion.
Straight, come straight. Romeo et Juliet.
Oh la la.
Third, self awareness. Characters looked into the camera. Directors referenced other films.
3 years ago, तुम्हारी कंपनी मिली, तुमसे इश्क हुआ, बट ऑफ कोर्स प्यार तो होना ही था, क्योंकि हम दिल दे चुके थे सनम।
The new wave did not hide that it was cinema. It made that visibly part of the meaning. Underneath the style was a real philosophical shift. Cinema did not need to resolve neatly. Truffaut's The 400 Blows ends on a freezing frame of a boy staring at the camera. No resolution, no moral, just a suspended, unanswered moment.
Girl, you'll be a woman soon. I love you so much, can't count all the ways I died for you, girl, and all they can say is he's not your kind.
The new wave's influence did not stay in France. Its DNA runs through the American New Hollywood of the 1970s. Scorsese and Coppola both cited Godard and Truffaut directly. Quentin Tarantino named his production company A Band Apart after Godard's Bande Part. The jump cut, once shocking, is now a basic tool in music videos, vlogs, and even smartphone editing apps. More than any single technique, the new wave normalized something bigger. The idea that a film could be cheap, personal, and imperfect, and still be art. That a director's voice mattered more than a studio's polish. It's the reason auteur is now a word casually used about directors like Wes Anderson or Greta Gerwig. A handful of critics, armed with cheap cameras and a grudge against polished cinema, ended up rewriting the rules of the medium. 65 years later, every indie filmmaker with a camera and no permit is working in a tradition they started.